Are you waiting for a successor of the C-Class Coupe or convertible? Waiting for a successor of the E-Class Coupe or convertible? Or are you just frustrated that a C-Class is only available as 4-cylinder even in the C63 AMG? Well, the all-new Mercedes CLE might be the answer to all the questions. Is it a good move? We're going to find out here with Thomas Nautical Fuel in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with this very vehicle here, the CLE Coupe 450. Under the hood, the 6-cylinder making its return to a C-Class based vehicle. We're going to tell you all about it and also about the convertible back there in the background. So Coupe and convertible of the CLE in this very review. Mercedes has told me that E-Class customers of the Coupe and the Cabriolet said, hey, we want something more dynamic. And the C-Class Coupe and convertible customers said, we want a little bit more space. And that's why they made this one. And of course also for cost savings, not to have two separate models, but make one, obviously. Then here, this is the AMG line, small star pattern, it's beautifully done. Then you have here LED high performance as base. This one is the optional digital light with even more high beam performance. The AMG line also has these different inserts here in the lower part, but they do not open or something. It's closed also for aerodynamic reasons. The color here is Patagonia Red. This is also one of the manufacture colors, so that used to be Diseño, so it's even more price intensive, so to speak. Our convertible back there is this graphite gray Magno matte paint. Then towards the side profile, the very interesting thing is that, talking about the wheelbase, this one here has a little bit shorter wheelbase than so far the E-Class Coupe, but longer wheelbase than the C-Class Coupe, so it kind of sits in between wheelbase-wise. But length-wise, it is even a little bit longer than the E-Class Coupe. So indeed, size-wise, it is a successor of the E-Class Coupe. Technology and base platform-wise, I rather see it as a successor of the C-Class Coupe. But when we drive it and also check out the interior, we're going to find out more about that. The wheels here, 20-inch. These are also the biggest ones that are available, also with an aerodynamic function. The overall length, by the way, is 4.85 meters. You can see this really strong hip area, beautiful sensual line, but indeed a little bit longer than the C-Coupe. Obviously you see it also visually. This rear part here has this blacked out part in the middle. That's, I think, a little bit hit and miss, but I like the light signature all the way through the side. CLE 450 is the 6-cylinder, soon more about the engines. However, in the lower part there, out of the fake exhaust police alert, because on the inside it is just a pure fake exhaust indeed. But interesting also technology-wise, as for suspensions, you have a standard sport suspension that is 15 millimeters lower. Then you can go for the comfort suspension that is then more to the normal level if you want a little bit more comfort. And you can also go for an adaptive suspension that comes in a package with rear axle steering. So the rear wheels then turn in the opposite direction than the front wheels. Is easier for parking in and out. Turning indicators in the front, very visible here in the upper part, really wide, I like that. And talking about visibility, we also have two more colors we could catch for you today. Of course, a Thomas blue called Spectral Blue at Mercedes. Or what about this high-tech silver? Which one do you like best so far? Turning indicators in the rear, I think they do not really fit the vehicle, right? I think they're maybe like too high or something. Yeah, this seems a little bit off. Let's now compare the convertible here in this graphite gray Magno. Of course, this color is also available for the Coupe. As for the roofline, I think it also looks beautiful when it's closed. It doesn't come that close to the Coupe. I think the Coupe closed is still more beautiful, but I also love Cabriolet. So I think design-wise, both Coupe and Cabriolet are very well done. So hats off to Mercedes for that from the exterior design. This roof here, by the way, in black, red, or gray, so 3 different colors are available. And you can also remotely open it with this key fob here when you're standing on the outside, so that is possible. You just have to be close enough to the vehicle. Let's take it that way. And let's see how fast it goes. You can also check out then the time code in the YouTube video player below. The convertible now comes then with a comfort package that includes the neck heater, the air scarf and the air cap system. So when I activate it, you can see it goes up in the front, and there's also a small wind deflector going up in the rear. Difference here in the rear of the convertible, the third braking light is integrated in this chrome strip here, whereas it's of course behind the glass then in the coupe. And also the speaker integration here, very visible with this optional Burmester sound system. And by the way, another color, I have one more convertible for you in Alpine Grey. Also a pretty cool color, isn't it? This is the key fob. Really good in the quality, I like that. Then door closing sound is okay, I would say, considering it's frameless. And you can see also some actions here of the seatbelt reacher. When you have the ignition on, then the seatbelt reacher is also going back and forth. Inside of the doors, this is all Artico leatherette. Really nice design, super clean indeed. I also like this surface here as for, you know, the haptics and so on, and it looks cool. However, when the sun is directly going on there, then it is also blinding for the driver. The previous generation controls did have haptic feedback here for the seat control. That was what I preferred. They look again clean, but no real feedback for that. Cooled and heated seats are available for different seat materials, for the animal skin, but also for the Artico. This here would be animal skin, but you can get the same colors also in an animal-friendly leather red. And there's also a microfiber, the so-called micro cut available. That one actually offers more comfort because the material is softer, and both for the coupe and the convertible. Here with 189 or 6'2", is really close already to the head, so for headroom wise, and just the base ergonomics are not good for long-term comfort. So I can really urge you, A, the Artico is a little bit softer, and B, the best choice for the coupe and the convertible is when you go for the AMG line, it automatically comes with the microfiber seats. They will deliver the best comfort still for this vehicle. The coupe can be equipped with this fixed glass roof. There is also a shade available. So I had to turn on the ignition first. There we go. So when it's really, really hot, close this shade. But good thing is, of course, that for this very model, we also have the real convertible. 5, 7, or here 16 speakers for the Burmester sound system. These are the three possibilities. Then we have the air vents here in a very nice turbine style with nice clicking sounds. I love this wooden decor element. I would go for that one because it doesn't catch so much fingerprints and so on. Because in the middle part here is a lot of high gloss black that's also blinding and scratches and fingerprints and so on. Interior cockpit overview, 11.9-inch digital instruments, 12.3-inch infotainment system here in this vertical integration. Definitely like we know from the C-Class, so you can see this platform brother or sisterhood, definitely. Lower middle console, slide this one open, then inductive charging bed, 2 USB-C chargers, and these cup holders. However, heavier bottles, they don't really hold tight that much. And then you have this nice split opening here of the armrest with more chargers. Digital instruments also offer map view in the inside, but that's again just the car internal system, or also these sport gauges, or you can also go full screen map below. Yeah, and that's the thing, these sliders on the steering wheel, there we go with the full screen. Yeah, these sliders on the steering wheel, sometimes you just miss the movements. The head-up display is very extensive, I would say. Here when you set the car internal GPS, you also have this visualization. Now the infotainment system, this is the car internal GPS map. Then there's the main menu, that is taken then from the all-new Mercedes E-Class. Apple CarPlay integration or Android Auto, wired or wireless, both is possible. We are in the San Sebastian region here today, by the way. Climate control in the lower part always stays like that. Sadly, no physical knobs. And of course, the most important thing, that I can now, finally, after all these years, play Angry Birds inside a car. So this would be the main argument to buy this vehicle, like the new E-Class. Or what do you think? And I want to show you a special feature here of the 6-cylinder called Progressive Sport Sound. Without. Now with turn on. Well, I think this is a case for the, wait for it, Autogefühl fake sound police. So after the fake exhaust police, Now we will obviously need the fake sound police. To be honest, these fake sounds, they have been done for years, not only in electric vehicles recently, but also in petrol engines in almost all different vehicles, even in 6, obviously, even in 8 cylinders, different methods are being used. Sometimes real sound is being recorded and looped into the interior. Sometimes it's totally generated. Yeah, it is also, the reason for that is also because the engines are so well insulated from the cabin, which is again a good thing. But then of course the question is it a good approach and does it really sound well or not? In this case, probably a little bit exaggerated, isn't it? This is a time where you can enjoy my pain and also indicate time codes Thomas in the rear seat. That's always a prank here when I'm climbing in tiny rear areas as a tall person. So first test is when I am driving, does it slide? Yeah, so it is somewhat possible. I have to fold my knees a little bit to the outside. Headroom wise, doesn't work. Yeah, I can squeeze myself in here for a shorter period of time. Actually, that's possible. Legroom wise, it is a little bit less than in the E-Class Coupe, but more than in the C-Class Coupe. So it sits kind of like in between as for the space that is here in the rear. And it's also reflecting what I said about the wheelbase. A little bit less in the E-Class, so for more agile driving, but a little bit more wheelbase than the C-Class. And that is exactly the result here for the legroom. Trunk or boot of the Coupe. Let's take a look at here. 420 liters and 1.40 meters in length. And it's actually quite high. Here at 50 centimeters or 19 inches, you can see 2 trolleys, 2 backpacks, no problem at all. And you can also fold the seats. I already did that with 1/2 from the rear compartment. Different convertible interior here. Well, not too much. However, these buttons here for the convertible roof and the air scarf in the middle. And against the glare, you have this button here, like you know from the Mercedes SL, that you can actually turn the screen towards you so you can better see it also when there's a lot of sunlight coming in. The convertible trunk now has the feature that in both ways the cover here for the roof mechanism goes back in and also out again. Of course, here at the moment the roof is open, then not too much space is left, and you can also imagine that this is also the reason why the plug-in hybrid is not available for the convertible. As for engines, starting with the 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine, 250 or 258 horsepower, latter one also with all-wheel drive. Also the base stand for the plug-in hybrid drivetrain with 20 kilowatt hours net battery, 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel, and then here the 3-liter 6-cylinder with 381 horsepower in the CLE 450 4MATIC all-wheel drive. Quite even all-wheel drive distribution as well, and 4.4 seconds is here the acceleration figure. And as I said, in the normal C-Class, this one is not available, only in the E-Class. Alright, driving the Mercedes CLE 450 4MATIC. Let's go to the sport mode. We have here the adaptive dampers and the rear axle steering, so I have more agility at slower speeds, but also a little bit less natural driving feel, I would say. Then we also have the 3-liter 6-cylinder engine here, 381 horsepower. We're going on to this Spanish motorway here, and we're at 40 kilometers an hour. Let's see that we can safely enter and do a first acceleration like 40 to 80. Let's go. That's already 90 almost. Pretty quick, and of course you have this more sonorous feeling from this 6-cylinder engine, and well, yeah, it still makes a difference. And when we now think that the C63 AMG, which is way more expensive, yes, also more powerful in a horsepower spec and so on, but that one doesn't get a 6-cylinder and this one does, well, I guess I would rather take this one. Here on the motorway at 120 kilometers an hour, it's really very silent, so excellent noise insulation. You can also set the cruise control here. It also has an active lane keeping assist. Let's see when it, I'll just make room for the truck there. So here we go. Now there we go. When you see these green arrows. Now the active lane keeping assist is active, and there it's being kept in the lane in a very, very smooth way. So very good elaborated assistance systems. There's also blind spot monitor inside, for example. And also here in this comfort mode, the adaptive suspension is a little bit softer, and I'm not missing an air suspension here as long as the road is actually good. And we know that suspension that Mercedes is building, they're usually very good both in comfort and sportiness, and also in this compromise. Yeah. So the whole driving feeling it conveys is really excellent. You feel one with the vehicle. That's pretty cool. And as for the fuel economy, well, this 6-cylinder here is also very good in that one. And I feel even better than the 4-cylinders, especially when you push the vehicle. Then the 4-cylinders go really nuts as for the fuel economy, or for the fuel consumption in this case. So here, a very realistic figure is 8 liters on 1 kilometers. You can also even go 7 liters on 1 kilometers if you really keep it steady and drive in an economic way. It's always with this MHEV system, mild hybrid technology, so you can regenerate some energy. That is also helping, but it's also the general efficiency of the engine and the aerodynamic factor and so on of this vehicle. Of course, when the vehicle is now longer, it actually serves the aerodynamic purpose. So the initial question was, is it just a pumped up C-Class or something and then made it as a coupe? Well, it is indeed something in between. So you have this length even a little bit longer than the E-Class coupe was before, and features like the 6-cylinder that is only offered in the E-Class now, but still technology-wise it is definitely closer to the C-Class. Pricing-wise, however, how could it be different? It is closer to the E-Class coupe, like a German pricing where the E-Class coupe was a little bit more than 50,000 euros. This one now starts a little bit less than 50,000 euros. So there's a smaller gap to the E-Class coupe than to the C-Class coupe pricing-wise here now with the all-new Mercedes CLE. Styling-wise, I think it works very well. Interior-wise, I think the seat comfort needs to be better. Definitely, I have enjoyed driving the 6-cylinder here with the CLE 450. Now tell me what you think about this concept and join us for C-Class or E-Class content.